The COVID-19 pandemic has put individual health and well-being into sharp focus, clearly revealing the interconnected nature of our planet and the need for a wider approach to our global well-being. However, without immediate action, the threat of climate change is set to dwarf the challenges of 2020.
There's this idea that what if we miss 2 degrees? What does that mean? And actually that's a non-question, because if we miss 2 degrees C, it's over.
It's never been more important for organizations and business leaders to adopt smart digital energy solutions, which improve both efficiency and sustainability.
The more companies will adopt smart building solutions, smart industrial solutions, the more it will have impact on the efficiency, on the saving, on the CO2, but also on the people. There is huge cost benefit to become more sustainable in all your operation and in the way you drive your business.
So how can businesses lead the way in this race to a low-carbon future? And how can technology and design help ensure both the health and well-being of people and the planet? Both the actions and targets taken by organizations and governing bodies in the fight against climate change has increased exponentially in recent years, with the EU and many companies globally setting the ambitious goal of carbon neutrality by 2050, in line with the Paris Agreement and the European Green Deal.
The good news is large organizations are starting to publish their carbon pledge, and very soon it will move to concrete actions. The momentum we have seen in the past 12 to 18 months is telling me that probably there is an opportunity to catch up, but the next 2 or 3 coming years will be extremely critical.
We can't stop climate change, the climate's already changing, but we can improve our chances of the Earth being livable into the future for as many people as possible.
One thing that is certain, public and private partnerships are essential to help turn the tide on climate change.
It is super important that all organizations, all businesses address the topic of climate change. We cannot rely only on government to set up policy and so on and so forth. We as organizations, whether you are a private company, you are in the education sector or whatever, we need to incorporate this topic.
Partnerships and digital solutions can also play an important role in our personal well-being. Last year, as Italy became the epicenter of the European coronavirus outbreak, an international task force came together to develop the Cura initiative. This open-source project aimed to rapidly expand emergency and intensive care capacity. The collaborative team repurposed shipping containers to create plug-in biocontainment pods, capable of being rapidly deployed in cities throughout the world. The backbone of these emergency mobile ICUs is electricity, providing a lifeline for these mission-critical facilities. As lockdown and supply chain disruptions caused chaos in many parts of the world, the team at Schneider Electric produced and deployed a critical power infrastructure for Cura's mobile ICUs in just 2 weeks.
It is critical simply having power supply, having the right temperature environment in the places where operations take place. So making those facilities more resilient is very important.
While smart digital and energy solutions are integral to our well-being, the actual design of the buildings and cities of the future must also play a vital role in ensuring a people-centric approach to sustainable growth.
We spend about 90% of our time indoors. Unless we actually learn to do more movement within buildings, and it isn't enough to make a big difference to health.
This is why it's essential that the built environment is both sustainable and people-centric, with examples like Maggie's Cancer Support Centres and Australia's Medibank headquarters leading the way.
Being asked to design a Maggie Centre is like winning an Oscar. We use something called cross-laminated timber that allows you to build very sustainably. You have a negative carbon footprint. It's natural. It's the absolute perfect material to create that ambience of being at home, feeling healthy, but also being protected.
And at the headquarters of Medibank, one of Australia's largest medical insurers, the well-being of staff has been put at a premium, as the space has been designed around active building principles.
You usually enter an office building and the first thing that beckons to you is a lift. It's hard to find the stairs. So what they did is one of the most amazing staircases you can imagine. A very geometrically flowing, colourful object. They also have introduced quite a lot of internal gardens and views onto external nature.
Having access to that nature also improves your quality of life. It makes you feel better, and that's hard to quantify. Moving forward, we really do need to start to understand understand how we can create places and spaces that make you feel better, that improve your quality of life.
Airflow was another major consideration, and certain areas of the office operate circadian lighting, mimicking natural daylight patterns to support workers' natural biorhythms.
Indeed, we spend 90% of our life in buildings. There are many things we don't know, we don't realize, but to act on it, you need to know. And that's where having data, therefore putting in place sensors, and having intelligence that you would have in the cloud, brings this data in front of you to make sure that you can act on it and automate it. In that field, technology is a game changer.
While the design of buildings can improve the well-being of people, it is smart, digital, and energy solutions that ensure the efficient and resilient operation of vital healthcare facilities. Digital connected platforms such as Schneider Electric's EcoStructure are the backbone of essential service providers, and Nemours Children's Hospital in Florida is an optimal example. With critical infrastructure like Nemours Hospital, clean, consistent, and reliable energy is non-negotiable. But Florida is notorious for its hurricane season, with the state prone to power loss from down lines, and with the impact of climate change seeing North American hurricanes growing stronger, the need for a consistent and reliable energy supply in healthcare facilities such as Nemours is vital.
I call my guys the silent heroes. We're the guys that keep the lights on, keep the hospital safe. It is essential that the power is clean and steady all day long. If we were to experience a power interruption, our emergency backup generators would immediately fire up, and our Schneider Electric switchgear would switch to emergency power. Our radiology equipment, our operating rooms, and our data center are all on the Schneider Electric UPS system. The UPS is basically a battery backup. They can keep our equipment running for about a half hour. It's no different than the confidence that you expect to have in your doctors and nurses taking care of your children.
Schneider Electric's EcoStructure isn't just limited to providing hospitals with maintenance support and energy management. These kinds of smart technology platforms can be used to optimize the clinical environment, benefiting both staff and patients.
It goes all the way of also digitizing your personal files, so one doctor knows to the other, and you may have even a software in the background that gives you some suggestion.
Whether it's sustainable building materials, smart energy management technology, or the adoption of clean electrical energy, it's clear that we need to consider the health of our planet, just as we do our personal well-being.
The last missing point is really people everywhere in the world being more conscious on how we can impact in our job and our private life. But the rest, technology, everything is available.
With approximately 28% of global emissions coming from building use, most of which is caused by heating, cooling, and lighting, there is an urgent need for businesses to drive the shift toward electrification.
But we all realize that probably the biggest opportunity to reduce CO2 emission is on the supplier side. Recently, Schneider Electric signed a partnership with Walmart to help all their suppliers in North America to reduce their CO2 emission. They call it the Gigaton Project, which is the amount of CO2 emission they want to reduce in the next coming years. It's an example where a large company is helping a large number of small, medium-sized companies to become more green in the future.
There's an abundance of innovative digital and sustainable technologies fueling the fourth industrial revolution. Innovations that are essential to ensuring both our personal well-being and that of the planet.
The objective ultimately is to make the most of the data that we can extract from our different building, infrastructure, industry to help our customers to make the right decision when it comes to energy management, but also to leverage with artificial intelligence and machine learning more and more algorithms that will help the customer to automate their decision again to save energy in the future.
Electrification and digitization offer some of the most effective solutions to meet essential climate goals.
Individual businesses join our campaign, so like Schneider Electric has joined all 3 of our campaigns: it's electric vehicle commitment, renewable electricity commitment, and commitment to energy productivity. And those commitments are critical for the business. They set the mark out what they're going to do, and that allows innovation, and we often see businesses hitting their targets ahead of when they could.
5 years ago, the United Nations have created what we call the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. And I would consider that's a new standard for sustainability. The good news is the shareholders and the investor, they are looking for companies who take really a much bigger attention on that topic. So for me, it's creating a new ecosystem which is much more demanding, and that's probably I would say, a better guarantee for success for the future.
We have the tools and technology to build and drive a more sustainable future. But will global leaders and industries adopt these digital solutions in time, ensuring a net zero carbon future before it's too late?